This market report is brought to you by DBX Trackers. Because you won't need to use your offshore allowance, it's the easiest way for South Africans to invest offshore.
And a guest market watcher this evening, Craig Pheiffer from Absa Investments, with us in the studio. Craig, the last day of the month, we've now had 5 losing months in a row, but it wasn't too bad a month for the JSE. We were down 12.5%, not too bad, I say, because in the last 30 years, it only comes in at number 9. Take a flyer at what the biggest loss was of a month. You've been around a while.
Oh, I hope it's in the recent past then. 15%?
Well, interestingly enough, it was in September 1998, and in that month, the stock market lost 30%.
Sure.
So if you consider 12.5% this month, the problem is, though, Craig, that it's been falling every month.
It's the slow poison that we've had, and that's why we haven't had a big crash in a couple of days. It's been the slow poison of 5-6% at a time. We come back 1% or we flat, and then we lose some more. And I think that's been the biggest disconcerting thing that's kind of snuck up on us.
Interesting as well is that this year to date, the JSE's now lost 31%. So it's only the equivalent of what the market lost in 1 month in 1998. So put in perspective.
Thankfully, we had a good week this week to bring that number back.
Are you starting to feel a little more confident yet?
Yes, I think what we've seen this week does inspire a bit of confidence. I think we mustn't get sucked into it at the moment, think that it's all behind us now. But it certainly gives you the impression that we're kind of finding a floor now. We're trying to find our feet around these levels. So, it does give you confidence to start investing in this market.
The risks now are changing from actually being in the market to being at the market. You actually need to be invested at least some of your capital.
That's right. We're sitting at a 9 PE, and you can ask, what's the value of the PE if you're not too sure of the earnings. But I think we can start getting a better idea of earnings going forward, and there's lots of value out there.
You mentioned that the earnings yield. We like to talk about the earnings yield here. It's just gone above 10% for the first time since June 2003, and that, if you remember, June 2003 was the absolute bottom of the last bear market. So we're back to those kind of values.
Exactly. And the PE at that time, I remember, was also around 8.9, and we got to around 8.3 or so during this past week. So a very similar story playing out there. So clearly there's value, but again, you don't need to rush in, I think.
Well, the year so far, 7 losing months, 3 winning months, and the second worst, incidentally, month ever was in November 1987, not October 1987, as many people recall, and that was a 24% drop in the JSE. So September this year, we were down 14%. That was only the 5th worst month. So we've had a rough time, but not quite that bad. Today, though, was a lot better, wasn't it? We started off really weak and then actually finished positive.
And we came back again. And I think, after 2 days that we've had the 13% up, a flat day just to consolidate a bit, probably not a bad thing at all.
Quite a lot of news coming through today. Sappi looks to be making an acquisition. They're going to raise 450 million euros and translate that nearly 5 billion rand from shareholders.
That's a lot of money, and it's a particularly poor time to be looking for capital. But they probably got investors lined up for that. I'm sure that they'll find the capital.
I suppose also you are buying, presumably, at the bottom of the market as well. Brian Joffe and Motti Sachs's operation, Afrocentric, has finally done something. Did you pick up that SENS announcement?
I saw that, and I just chuckled when I thought of David Shapiro not too long ago talking about these guys that haven't been doing anything. But it's nice to see them applying that capital and building up the assets in that company. Well,
the other musketeer, of course, is Maya Khan in that lot. And then SPAR, headline earnings per share trading update, they're going to be up between 25 and 30%. It's got to be looking attractive.
Yes, a good result. And they're going to report in 2 weeks' time. And I think if we look at all of those basic food producers have done, ShopRite, great results. Pick n Pay, maybe not as great, but still looking fairly good. And I think just shows you the value in this kind of environment, or in the past environment at least, of inflation and the positive effect that inflation has on earnings for food producers. I think as we go into a lower inflation environment, they may not benefit as much.